This is Home Sweet Arizona with your hosts, Chelsea and Brandon Hamilton. This husband and wife duo is sharing insight, ideas, and inspiration to help make your home amazing. Home Sweet Arizona is brought to you by Hamilton Ever After.
Hello everyone, I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Brandon, and welcome to Home Sweet Arizona.
A play on the phrase, home sweet home. On our show, Home Sweet Arizona, we're gonna cover all things home, like renovations, real estate, DIY, and so much more, including things to do in Arizona. Here's what's on tap today. Goodwill's Courtney Nelson covers ideas for Thanksgiving decor and why thrift shopping is so important.
And we are also going to show you some of the best kitchen gadgets that you absolutely need to have in your home. And this is according to our friend and executive chef Eamon from Castle Hot Springs Resort. Plus, Justin Rohner with Agriscaping and the Queen Creek Botanical Gardens is offering planting tips, including which ones are best to have inside of your home.
And realtor, designer, and flipper James, the house judge, is sharing insight on small changes you can make to your home before you sell to get more bang for your buck.
Everybody wants that, so we are excited to get your home ready for the holidays.
I'm no autumn leaf, but I'm always falling for you.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
I always love this time of the year. It's one of my favorites when the temperatures start to cool down and you really get to enjoy the fall colors, especially up north.
So beautiful. And Christmas, wait a second here.
Stop that. Get rid of that video. We're not there yet. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, of course. We got to start with Thanksgiving.
Though we absolutely love Christmas.
Yes.
And the decorations do hit the shelves in many stores in June, but we can't skip over Thanksgiving.
That's right. Like I said, we have to enjoy Thanksgiving. So here to join us right now to cover the latest trends for Thanksgiving decor and thrift shopping is Courtney Nelson, the Senior Director of Marketing and Communications at Goodwill of Central and Northern Arizona. We appreciate you being on our show.
Yeah, thanks for having us back. Welcome back to Goodwill.
So fill us in. What are the latest trends in Thanksgiving and fall decor this year?
So there are a lot of trends that have been around for a while, and you can always find them at a Goodwill store. The black and white buffalo plaid is still very popular. This is a pillow sham that you can come find at Goodwill for no more than $2.50. So you're able to completely redo your look. A lot of the traditional colors, those rust colors that really scream fall, are still very popular, as well as some of the farmhouse chic look. And you can always mix and match too. So maybe you've done more traditional in the past, you want to spice it up with a little bit of that buffalo plaid. You can do that, find different plates, mix and match. You can really create your own look by shopping Goodwill, and you're not going to be spending too much.
I love that. And what are some easy DIY projects that someone can do using items from Goodwill?
Sometimes DIY can be a little intimidating, but when you do it by buying Goodwill items, you know you're not spending too many items. So get some great ideas. Mason jars is a great way to start. If you're not familiar with DIYing, get a mason jar, put corn in it. You can put different fall leaves in it to really be able to accent your tablescape or around your home. Pumpkins is another great thing, so you don't have to go with a traditional orange pumpkin. We have a lot of different pumpkins you can get at Goodwill, and you can paint it. Whatever your theme may be on your table, you're able to spray paint it and really be able to add those accents to that table, not spending too much, and it's your own unique spin on whatever you want to be able to present to your family and friends.
I am all about those DIY projects, and those were great ideas. Now, thrifting is on the rise. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, thrifting has really been growing in popularity over the past few years, and especially during the pandemic. So whether that was somebody trying to stretch their dollar, sustainability is really important for people, or they just came in during the pandemic and realized they could find some really great unique items, we've really seen thrifting become more popular. In fact, about 33 million consumers were shopping thrift, and about 76% of those consumers said that they're even going to increase their spending in the next year. So it's really popular. You know you can get some really great items without spending much.
Those statistics, wow.
And I have to share, I found a vintage dress at Goodwill. Check this out. It was originally $19.99, but I got it for just $1. It's stunning, and I could wear it to a fall ball.
Oh, it's a date. Well,
Can't
what are
wait.
your tips for shopping Goodwill to find items for Thanksgiving?
Shop early. I know we just got through with Halloween, but it's never too early starting to look for whatever that fall decor is going to be for Thanksgiving. So make sure you shop early. If you need ideas to get inspiration, look on Pinterest, go to different blogs to see what ideas there are, and then be open. Go to a Goodwill store, go to multiple Goodwill stores, look throughout the store. You can always find great discounts too. So whether it's a dollar tag sale or sign up to get a 20% off coupon, you know you're not going to be spending too much, and just keep an open mind and get really creative with your fall decor this year.
Tell us about the price points and selections at your stores.
You know, whenever you shop Goodwill, you're never going to have to spend too much to get some really great items. Thanksgiving is certainly no different. So you can find really wonderful items to entertain. Something like this turkey platter, it's huge. It's going to serve your whole family, no more than about $4 or $5. You can get mason jars for a couple of dollars out the door. Look at these great fall plates that we found. So if you're entertaining and you have appetizers, no more than about $2.50. And you can always mix and match. So you're not going to be spending too much to create a whole look. Pumpkins, we talked about doing some DIY with it, and those are going to be no more than $1 and you can completely recreate. So really, you're not going to be spending total more than $20 to $30 to create that complete table look or look around your home for Thanksgiving.
We love how affordable the items are and also how on trend and unique they are too, and it really is perfect for Thanksgiving.
Courtney, thank you so much again for sharing these great tips. We always love when you come on our show.
Yeah, it's always fun being on. Thank you for having me, and happy Thanksgiving.
Can't wait to gobble up those deals and ideas.
She's back.
I couldn't
Instead
help
of
myself.
getting your home ready for the holiday, some of you might be getting your home ready to sell.
So, how can you get the most bang for your buck? We're bringing in an expert for a segment we call Reno for Resale.
That's right. He is a designer, realtor, house flipper. The list goes on, and he is ready to up your game at home. James, the house judge, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited to be a part of this and be here with you both.
You are always welcome. So everyone wants to sell their home for more, of course, but sometimes a little work has to go into that. So you are going to offer ways to sell your home for more money with a few easy tips. And number one, update your fixtures. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So right now, of course, it's a hot real estate market and things are going, but it's still important to make some really simple changes to your house in order to sell it faster and get top dollar. So to me, I really think updating your fixtures goes so far. You know, we use our houses on a daily basis and something might break and you might update it with a different finish or fixture. But when it comes time for resale, it makes a huge impact if you can update your fixtures and finishes. So go through your house and look at your lighting. Is it all the same metal finish and or the same style? Because if not, take this opportunity to really update the lighting. Lighting makes a house feel brighter. It's also a style trend. So if people walk into your house and they see that really cool chandelier, it automatically sparks some emotion in them and they're like, wow, this is a really stylish house. It's also one less thing for them to do. Beyond the lighting though, think about your doorknobs. Do all of your doorknobs match? Are they a consistent metal finish? Same thing with the cabinet hardware. These are little simple changes that don't have to cost a lot of money, but really make a big visual impact because they're the things that people are looking at and that they're touching. So it's really important that they all create a cohesive and unified look to really maximize the style of the house.
Yes, love it. That makes sense. And we've also been showing you some before and after photos of one of your projects, great transformations. But let's move on to tip number 2, paint.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, painting is something that's pretty simple. It can be a DIY aspect, but I also think it's a really nice thing to take advantage of hiring a professional because a lot of times if you have pets or kids or even just with daily use, the walls get scuffed. You also maybe really like pink or purple or, you know, a bright green, which could look beautiful, but for a buyer, that looks like a lot of work. And it's hard for them to sometimes visualize what the home could look like without those bright or maybe more bold colors. So I think it's essential to really go in and focus on some of the details, you know, touch up all the paint on your baseboards, on the crown molding, on the trim work, so it really pops. And think about painting all the walls a more neutral color. This helps buyers to really visualize themselves in the home without being distracted by other things. And depending on your cabinetry, I think this is a great place to splurge. Spend a little extra money. If your cabinets are a bit more dated and are not quite as style forward, it's a really nice opportunity to paint them a color. You can focus on the trends. You know, right now, blue cabinets and green cabinets are really popular. Consider painting the bottoms a bold color, maybe a blue or green, but the tops could actually be white. This will make everything feel bigger and look more fresh. So Paint can go a long way and make a huge visual impact. And when buyers walk in, it's one less thing for them to have to do, and it actually adds more value than it costs to do.
Great tips. Let's keep them rolling. How can we all add enhancements to make everything bigger and better?
Absolutely. So enhancements for your home. This sometimes is a tougher one because when you live in a house every single day, you enjoy it for what it is. But when it comes time to sell, it's really important to think about what you can do to enhance it. If your appliances don't match, think about maybe spending a little extra to actually enhance your kitchen. So that way everything is the same finish. All stainless steel appliances, maybe a little upgraded too. If it's that time of year, think about planting winter seeds. So, beautiful winter lawns are gorgeous and green and add so much curb appeal. However, one of my favorite enhancements is actually adding window treatments. So adding curtains to your home can actually make a room feel taller and bigger. You have to hang the curtains to go actually above the window and beyond the sides, but doing this can really make a room feel larger. It also helps to really highlight the view. So I like to use sometimes a contrasting color, so then that way it really draws your eye to the view and really makes for such a beautiful, brighter room altogether.
So smart. The views are super important to me,
That's right.
especially mountain views. I have to have them, but I think views in general are important to other buyers as well.
And it's also important to clean, do the basic repairs, and remove clutter. We're currently working on that in our
Clutter
house right
queen
now.
right here.
It's me. Please let us know how you can help us.
Whew. So all of these upgrades, minor renovations, and improvements don't have to cost a lot of money, but they make a huge impact. Nonetheless, there's some super essential things that you can't forget about. You gotta clean the house. It's really important to make sure that it's super tidy, clean, and sparkling. It's also really important to put away that clutter. So all the picture frames, all the personal elements, remove it. If you have a lot of things sitting on your kitchen counter, that might be functional for your day-to-day, but remove them to showcase the countertops and make it feel more open. These are some of the really basic things that, in a day-to-day functionality for the home, you need those things out because that's how you use it. But when it comes time to sell it, clear the clutter, clean up the house, and make sure that it presents the best it possibly can. Because with all those other things combined, some minor renovations, you're gonna sell your house faster and get more money.
That's music to everyone's ears. Sometimes I do it like this and I don't know why.
Doesn't make sense.
But you could treat it like potential buyers are guests to a party and they're coming to your house. So you can make an impression with that extra effort.
And you have a great example of this with your current client, these before and after photos. Tell us more about this project.
One of the actual best examples I can share with you is something I did for a client. It was their personal home, and then they actually turned it into a temporary rental property. But when it came time to sell it, it didn't look the best that it could. So we came in and we actually painted those kitchen cabinets. They started out being green, which was actually cool and on trend at one point, but we embraced it and did a two-tone to really make them pop. We added a backsplash. This was a nice enhancement. Was it necessary? No, but it made a great visual impact. We also updated that cabinet hardware and tied it so it matched all the lighting fixtures. These little visual details made the kitchen literally amplify and become so much more beautiful, and it cost less than $5,000. So for a $5,000 kitchen upgrade, suddenly it looked like you had this brand new, super trendy kitchen, and it brought top dollar. We had multiple offers on the house, and it sold like that. The same thing is in that house, the curtains. We added curtains and it made a big visual impact to really help showcase the view and make the space feel bigger. These little details really made an incredible difference with the before and after transformation, and it made an incredible difference on the bottom line as well.
Amazing. James, thank you so much for coming on our show and sharing these tangible takeaways.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always fun to be able to share tips and help people to see what they can do with their house and how to make the most. So I appreciate you having me on.
Well, we've done many DIY projects around our home from scratch. We've made sliding barn doors, horseshoe backstops, shutters, the list goes on.
Other fun painting and artsy projects too, like making our own stains for our barn doors too. But since James the House Judge mentioned light fixtures, we wanted to quickly share a project that we did that you can do too. So we bought 2 decorative lanterns from Kirkland's. They were each about $15 on sale. We bought pendant light kits from Lowe's. We removed the top of the lanterns inserted the pendant light, and secured the top with wooden brackets. I, of course, touched it up with a little paint. Then we installed it and voila! Now we have custom, truly unique pendant lights that go with our rustic chic kitchen.
Oh yes, and speaking of the kitchen, it's the heart of the home, right? And in some cases, it can be a headache if you don't have the right tools to cook with.
And we cannot have that, especially with all the holiday cooking that you are about to do. But thankfully, we have an expert here to help all of you.
Yes, he is our friend and Castle Hot Springs executive chef, John Amen. Thank you so much for welcoming us into your home. So break down your gadget go-tos.
Welcome to my home. Today I'm going to be talking to you about some of my favorite kitchen gadgets. Whether it be in the kitchen at Harvest or my personal home, these are some of my favorite tools that I almost can't live without. Started off, we've got a Vitamix blender. So super refined blender, can turn anything from pulsing it like a pesto to fully pureeing a really refined soup. The next step of refinement, I would recommend passing through a chinois. I have many chinois, whether they be big, small. My favorite about this size is, and what I recommend is to find one that a ladle fits perfectly in the bottom of, and that way you can really force through, whether it be anything, like I said, a soup or a puree, catch any little bit of grit or chunk, just an extra step of refinement. Another favorite tool of mine is gonna be an immersion blender. A stick blender, a hand blender, goes by many names. Same purpose is to work similar to a blender. However, this one's gonna be a lot more fine and you can use it just real quick for smaller jobs. If you just pulse the motor, you can do anything from a quick pesto binding, or if you want to fully puree something, you can let it rip.
Hey, that looks fun. We'll also be expressing our feelings for our holidays, and we do that through our meals. And some of those are likely to include a peeling process of some kind. We've got potatoes we got to get ready for, apples. So what's your favorite?
Small but mighty, we have our favorite hand peeler here. This is shaped a little bit differently than something you might see in your house. The reason I prefer something shaped like this is I can hold, say, a potato and just rotate while peeling in this manner. It's a lot more efficient. You tend to see them in kitchens a lot more.
Oh my, he's getting ready to shake things up.
Another small one you might not necessarily find is going to be one of these screened shakers. This is about a 4-ounce container. It holds more than just powdered sugar for your waffles. Today I've got alpha calendula in it, so that's a flour. So I pulse my flour in my blender until it's about as fine as I can get it. Then I'll store it in a container like this, sprinkle it over the top of either a salad, a soup, and that powder is obviously whatever color you put into it. So bright orange, bright green, super fun tool.
Love that. What's next?
Another favorite tool of mine is going to be these small scissors, specifically something like a Joyce Chen. That's the brand of these. They're super strong in the sense that I can take the backside of chickens, but then they're also sharp and refined so I can cut herbs, flowers, work on final plating. I keep them in my pocket all day, every day.
All right, one more, chef, take it away.
Last but certainly not least, every chef has a torch of their favorite. For me, I prefer a butane torch versus something like propane. Propane burns a little bit dirtier, has a different smell. Butane is super refined. It will leave no residual smell what you're cooking with, and it allows you to give a nice char for things like, let's say a creme brulee.
That looks so delicious and easy as well. Great tips as always, chef, and thanks again for coming on.
Thank you for joining me in my home today, while I was able to go over some of my favorite kitchen gadgets.
Those were seriously great. I loved it. Thank you for being my man of white, by the way.
You're welcome, and you are truly the queen of puns. As
Thank
always,
you.
you can see from episode 1, here on 2 as well, it'll continue. And since we are in the kitchen with the chef and he shared his favorite go-to gadgets, we'd like to share some of our favorites with you too, and mine has to do with coffee. You are welcome, even though you don't drink coffee,
Not
Chelsea.
at all, no caffeine.
I love this, the Chemex pour over coffee maker. I love this one. I grind up Purity whole coffee beans. Purity is a great product. They test for mold and toxins, so it is clean coffee. Then I use a Chemex bonded coffee filter, the natural one, make it into a cone shape, and I also use a KitchenAid gooseneck electric kettle to boil the water, and then I dampen the filter, pour that water out. It helps create a seal and gets rid of that, filter taste. I add the coffee grinds, pour more boiling water from the gooseneck kettle, and I let it brew. I'm telling you, this is the best method that I've done to get the best tasting coffee. You can add sweeteners too to help with the coffee taste that you can't stand to taste or smell.
Who's with me?
And Chemex is actually celebrating their 80th anniversary. So Cheers.
Cheers.
Coffee, right
We'll
here.
pretend that we have something here. And though Brandon is my personal chef and he uses it the most, I'm obsessed with Blendtec. This high-powered blender is amazing for smoothies, and it's also perfect for making almond ricotta.
Yum.
You heard that right. This is a great vegan option, or in my case with food allergies, a dairy-free option. So you simply add about a cup of water, then about a cup of blanched almonds, that's really important. Let them sit for about 10 minutes, add salt, pepper, any other seasoning that you would like, and then you pulse and blend until you see that fluffy consistency we love so much. People had no idea it was not real ricotta when we served it to them before. It's truly delicious, and you have to pair it with pasta, right?
Ooh, yes.
Listen up, this is really important. There are a lot of brands of healthier pasta options out there, like lentil or chickpea pasta, but those actually contain galactans.
Galactans, that sounds like outer space.
Yeah, right, it is. Well, you know what? They're difficult to digest, and it can lead to a lot of discomfort, which you might feel when you're up in outer space too. I'm not really sure. But instead, you have to check out this local company. It's called Andean Dream, and they're amazing quinoa products. Delicious and nutritious, Andean Dream uses the finest quality quinoa in the world, only found in the Andean Mountains of South America. They have various types like macaroni, elbow, penne, spaghetti, and a version made with turmeric. They also have quinoa cookies that are low sugar and guilt-free. They're coconut or chocolate chip, and I usually eat about 2 of them per day. Brandon can vouch for that. All of their products are made in a facility that is free from gluten, dairy, eggs, soy, and corn. It's vegan, non-GMO. They also have recyclable packaging. Plus, Andean Dream is a member of the Fair Trade Federation, meaning they source from indigenous farming families straight to the manufacturing facility. And quinoa is a low FODMAP superfood with so many health benefits, including, but not limited to, being high in protein, high in fiber, magnesium, and so many other vitamins like B, iron, potassium, calcium, E, antioxidants, essential amino acids. So choose quinoa pasta, support local. You can buy Andean Dream products in Whole Foods and on their website. Trust me, your tummies will thank you. And when it comes to dishes, you're gonna have so many possibilities.
Nice, another good one. And who knew cookies could be so healthy for you?
Exactly.
Yeah, and you eat so many, so that's great. Well, hey, I've got a joke for you. Yes, I have a joke this time. In the spirit of fall, what do you call a large pile of leaves?
I'm ready, tell me.
You ready?
Yes.
The Great Barrier Leaf.
Oh, that's a good one.
That looked like a fake laugh.
I loved it. Well, hey, I was going out on a limb there for you.
Oh,
or
my
maybe I
goodness.
should have said I beg your garden before. All right, that's enough.
Queen of jokes.
Speaking of leaves, let's talk about your yard and your plants. Justin Rohner is with Agriscaping in the Queen Creek Botanical Gardens. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Chelsea and Brandon, thanks for having me on. And welcome to the Queen Creek Botanical Gardens.
First off, can I just say you have the most beautiful backdrop ever?
Tell us about the Queen Creek Botanical Gardens, what families can see and do out there.
Well, there's a lot of things to see and do out here, especially when you think about the beauty that you can taste. This botanical garden is unlike any other in the world because we actually grow a lot of elegant, edible stuff right into the landscape. So you see we got basil behind here, I got some rosemary. I mean, this is just one little section of the English garden, but to be here is to also to be educated about sustainability and how we're trying to create more localized food systems and to have some fun. We got canoes here on site. We got a lot of animals that you can see and kind of touch and interact with out here. We got this beautiful grist mill up here on top. A lot of great education can be done here. Wednesdays, we always have our Workout Wednesday with a lot of fun stuff that we do here. A lot of things about every day of the week, Tuesday through Saturday, if you want to join us out here.
So you just had your first Fall Harvest Festival. Congratulations on that. You have another event coming up. What is the Thanksgiving plant sale all about?
So the Thanksgiving plant sale is a special sale we only do this time of year. And for every plant that you buy here at the Queen Creek Botanical Gardens, you're going to be giving a plant to the gardens to help improve and beautify this space and give more wonderful, awesome plants for others to come out here and enjoy. So whether it be you're looking for your own edible plants at home or you're looking for some fruit trees, buy them here at the Queen Creek Botanical Gardens, and again, you're giving back to the community at the same time. And our prices are really comparable to a lot of the other places out here, but all are grown naturally so that they'll be really healthy for you and your family.
Well, speaking of fall, what are some good plants to start growing during the fall season?
Well, during the fall season, about everything you can plant right now. And this is one of the things we love to give everybody that comes out, our patrons that are coming out here. It's a year-round edible garden calendar. And so on this one, I'm looking at my November. And in November, I've got a lot of things that I can plant. I can actually be starting my artichokes, Jerusalem artichokes. I can be doing my fava, my black beans, green snap beans, beets, bok choy, broccoli, Rob. There's a lot of things that you can do. So wonderful thing, tomatoes, you can actually do your fall tomato starts right now. Celery, cilantro, collards, kohlrabi, pretty much all the wonderful stuff that you come to enjoy here in Arizona. Edible flowers like the pansy, wonderful flower you can grow this time of year. It's a great time to get that started, and a whole bunch more that you can grow right now in your garden.
What are some good plants to have in the home that can double as healthy and then also decorative?
So in the home, oddly enough, one of my favorite plants that I have in my house is called the mother-in-law's tongue. Now that's because the tip's a little sharp, but the reality is that it's a beautiful plant. It's really easy to maintain, doesn't really need any soil or much water, and it grows beautifully and actually helps filter the air. Other ones I love that are more on the edible side include things like the orchid. So the orchid's one that once it blooms, it'll bloom for like 5 months, and it only takes a couple of pieces of ice melted once a week. You just throw the piece of ice in there, kind of slow waters it, and that's about it to care for that plant. It can handle the shade, it can handle a lot of other stuff, and then all your regular kitchen herbs are great to have right on the counter, growing in little 4-inch pots, nice little liner pot underneath it, and then you can be having that fresh access to beautiful produce right there in your kitchen.
Oh, the mother-in-law tongue, my favorite too. Justin, my friend, it is always great to see you. Thank you again for being on the show today.
Well, thanks again for having me, and we hope to see you out here at the gardens here pretty soon, Brandon. I mean, I got a shirt here waiting for you. We'll see you next time.
The Flannel Brothers back together again.
You know I love alliteration, and he is a gardening
Yes,
guru.
he is.
Now, we, on the other hand, do not have a green thumb. We prefer low maintenance desert landscape and fake silk plants. And speaking of those, they're great to use for fall decor. Many people go to the store and buy a wreath that's already pre-made, decorated, and ready to hang. But if you're wanting to add an extra special touch to your fall decor this year, go the DIY route like I did. I went to one of my favorite stores of all time, Hobby Lobby. I bought this giant pine wreath, grab the size that's best for you though. In addition, I purchased extra things to add to this blank canvas, like 2 garlands with fall leaves, pumpkins, a sunflower, berries, corn, pine cones, greenery, and more. Now, you do not need wire cutters, floral wire, twist ties, or glue when you do it my way. Here's a quick example and demonstration. When you take a decorative element like this fall foliage and berries, just make sure it has a stem, preferably a shorter one, but a longer one works too. When you place it into your tree, which is the same as you placing it through the pine needles of your wreath, you simply take the pine needle branch and wrap it around the stem and other parts of the decoration. That's it. And you repeat that process for every item that you add to your wreath, including the garland. I made this fall wreath last year, and through 2 fall seasons in outdoor weather, you better believe it stayed in one piece and in great condition, and it will be a tradition we decorate with for years to come. Well, before we go, we want to encourage you to reach out if you have any questions. If you want to learn more about something you've seen on our show, or if you have a question and want us to get an expert to answer it for you on our show, it would be our pleasure to do that as well.
Absolutely, and you can reach out to us on Instagram and Facebook at Home Sweet Arizona TV. We would love to hear from you. Email works as well, Chelsea at homesweetarizonatv.com. But we appreciate you joining us and inviting us into your home.
And we will be back here next Saturday and every Saturday at 11:30 a.m. And until then, we're sending you lots of Arizona sunshine.
We'll see you next time on Home Sweet Arizona. No jokes?
No jokes this time.
All right.
Bye-bye.